another California Guy video with your host, your humble Cali guy, to talk about coon disease, Uncle Tom syndrome, which I'm going to break down in this video today. We're going to talk about why do the black male become a coon and a woman? Why do black people have self-hatred towards one another? And I'm going to break a lot of this stuff down in this video today. And first off, coonery is a disease. It's a form of white assimilation, white supremacy, white supremacy assimilation through oppression. That's where coonery comes from. A coon, well, first of all, let's go back into slavery days real quick. Back in the slavery days, coon was originally called an Uncle Tom and sellout. A lot of the black slaves would make plans to run away from bondage, and you always had the Uncle Tom slave, whether it was the big madam, the black overseer, or even the house Negro, as you've seen in Django, which was played by Samuel L. Jackson. They would be the infiltrators. They would take care of the master well. They justified why slavery was good. See, people don't know that. In history, the slaves had traders, just like Indians. Indians had the same thing. You have Indian coons too, by the way, Native Americans, where they portrayed their own people, like Pocahontas. The Indians being killed and almost exterminated in the United States wouldn't have been successful had the white man didn't infiltrate certain Indian chiefs. They gave them weapons and they betrayed their people, and that went on for generations. You had Indian traders, you had agents, some of them were advanced. So, and people can look it up. So, white men wouldn't have been as successful had the Indians didn't have infiltrators in their group. Same thing for black people. Black people, and even Jews to an extent too, had infiltrators with Germans. But that's another story. I don't want to get too much into that. But a coon, and I'm reading this, and it's on Wikipedia. People can check this out. It's called Uncle Tom syndrome. It's a concept of psychology, and you guys can read along with me if you want. Check it out. It said where individuals use passivity and submissiveness. Now, a coon, and here's the example. There's a media personality by the name of Larry Elder. Larry Elder is a Uncle Tom and a coon. He's a black bastard, son of a bitch, that does a lot of radio shows and writes books on black people. And I know a lot about him. I've read a lot of his books over the years. I've studied him, listened to his shows. Every time a racist thing happens to a African American, what happens is the white racists put him on TV. They put him on radio as a contributor to talk about black race relationships in America. And guess whose side he goes on? The white supremacist side. He always bashes black people. He uses black on black crime, which is a tactic that the coons use majority of the time when they attack black people, and they blame black on black crime. The coon has its place in the United States. Their place is to have division amongst black people and to prove to white people that they're better than African American people. That's the goal of a coon. A coon builds platforms up on black, the strife of black people, like being in the ghetto, being very poor, and the coons offer no solutions at all. Thomas Sowell is a coon also, and he's the same as Larry Elder. He is not as wild as him, but he's the same. So you have coonery, this disease, trickling down to even black YouTube, people such as Painless RZA and other ilk, David Carroll, which they have the same disease. They're not as smart as Thomas Sowell, by the way, or Larry Elder. I will say that part, but they spit out the same venom of white supremacy through YouTube and Blog Talk Radio or anywhere else. And the first thing they say is they love black people, but yet these are men who have said that there should be 100 George Zimmerman, or there should be more black people or nothing, or black people should stop being lazy, which is a myth. but they or talk about black females a lot. They call them black bitches, or they don't deserve nobody when they enter. It's just little things like that. That's the Uncle Tom syndrome that's going on, and some blacks buy into this myth that these people are intelligent because they're pointing out black faults. Now, I don't need a coon like Larry David to tell me, not Larry David, Larry Elder. I'm sorry, I said Larry David. Larry David is a comedian, I'm sorry, people, but Larry Elder, I don't need Larry Elder to tell me that black people have problems in the black community. He offers no solution. He bashes black people to pacify white people, and that's the job of a coon. A coon disguises himself up as saying black people do not like me because I speak with intelligence. The Black Panthers was educated, had degrees. Martin Luther King was highly intelligent with the Nobel Peace Prize, but he never became a coon. Barack Obama was highly intelligent. Harvard Review, never was a coon. Michelle Obama, need I go on? So the coon, I have a lot of education. I have a degree. I'm a historian. Again, don't need to be a coon. So when I hear these puppets repeat the same thing, it's a disease. Whenever, and I can guarantee you this. Here's an example real quick, because coons are predictable. When the shooting broke out in LA and the protest, if that gets any bigger, I can guarantee you, you're going to get a lot of videos from black male and the black female coon, the Oreo cookies, and they're going to be telling you why the cops were right for killing that black man. I could guarantee you, they're going to talk about autopsy reports, they're going to talk about black on black violence, black people are race baiters, they're going to talk about Al Sharpton, the list goes on. And you know why? Because these people are puppets and cannot think for themselves. And they're there to attack the black conscious people. Me and some of the black conscious individuals out there, and some black, black power people, we consider ourselves we're like Nat Turner. We're the runaway slaves. And these people are the pure house niggas that are subservient to their white master's boots. That's what they are. We are people that fight for equality, like myself. I fight for, and I don't hate white people either, by the way. I don't want people to take it, because there's a lot of Caucasian people out there that have black people's backs. But the coons, they follow behind white racist individuals and then disguise themselves up as saying they're agents. They're saying, oh, well, we like black people. We care about them. I even challenged a few of them, and I told some coons, well, why don't you go onto white platforms and tell them the same stuff you're telling these pro-blacks? And they say, well, no, because they want to talk to black people. It's weird as fuck to me. But I laugh at this coonery, but I realize it's a disease. It's an infection of coonery. It's an infection like AIDS and HIV and any bird flu. It's going around. This coonery disease, the Uncle Tom syndrome, is here. It's here to stay, and it's affecting lots of black people. And that's why they're looking white people's ass cracks clean, because this disease has permeated through the black race. You got black people saying that when a white boy could rape a black woman, and then they'll say that the black woman was a whore. That's what a coon would say if that was ever, that God forbid it happened. So I don't know. I just thought I would say that about coons. Drop a comment into my link. This is a controversial video. I'll make up another video or part 2 to it. Peace out.